Part 1. Hello all, well, as I would usually say, morning, evening, afternoon, depending when you're watching this video. I'm going to try and make it quick because I don't feel very well. The last couple of days I've been having chest pains and on the phone to the hospital and all sorts of things. So, and it's not that warm in here either, it's only 11 degrees, so if you can hear a noise in the background, it's a fan heater. I've also got an oil-filled radiator in, but on it as well, should I say. So I'm going to try and make it fairly snappy. Probably still be a long video by anybody else's standards, but I'm going to try and make it a bit quick where I can. I came across a radio. This is not the radio, the one the camera's focused on. Hopefully it's focused. Came across a radio, and I'm going to give mixed views and mixed reports on this radio, based on my findings. First of all, perceived, and I've never come across one before. I've come across a lot of radios. I haven't had them all over the years, but I have had a lot over the last 30 years. This is one I haven't. Some people perceive it as very hard to get hold of radio, very rare, very rare. Now that doesn't cut any ice with me, so I'm about to show you. It is a clean example of one. I have got the box, the instructions, and even the original receipt that I believe is about £220 it cost when whoever bought it. I must look at the date after the video. I'll see if I can find the date on the receipt and show you, or at least put it on the video. Anyhow, there's the video. There's the video. So I'm a bit doolally today, I'm not the full quid. There's the radio, Midland Alan 9001. To me, it's personal taste, this is what I'm about to say, so it's your opinion. I've got my opinion, which I will say, and I'm sorry to upset anybody who loves these radios, or owns one, or wants one. This is only my opinion. This writing here looks cheap and tacky, all this business, all mode CB transceiver, but take my hat off to the radio, it's in very good condition, it hasn't got a mark on it. And you'd be fooled when you first see it, the display, into thinking it's a President Lincoln, which I have owned, at least 5 Lincolns. I rate those radios. I have got one small problem with them, which is a design fault in my opinion. I'll come on to that with this radio. But the display and everything else would indicate it's a President Lincoln. From all accounts that I can find out, I don't know if it's made by, is it Maxon? I can't say that what board number it is. I'm not going to take the back off it because it's got seals on the side, and it'd be a shame after all this time for me to you know, just get the screwdriver out, take the back off to find the board number. Maybe as you might find in somebody else's video if it interests you, but on the usage that I've give this radio, which is not a lot, so I've only give it about 45 minutes use since I've owned it. I'm not on the understanding it will be anything the same as a President Lincoln, and I will tell you why in a moment. So it's a mixed bag, this one, what I'm going to say. Some people are not going to like it, but I tell my opinion on how I see things, and if you like it you do, and if you don't, tough. But we are individuals and we all like different things. That's what makes us individuals. But so it's only my opinion. First of all, the radio does 10 AM FM, 10 watts, and it also does 25 to 30 on sideband, and I think it's computer controlled. So years and years ago, this was quite advanced, this radio, when it came on the market in 91, 92. Basically, it is a Emperor Shogun, is what the radio really is. I think it's called a TS5010. 5010, that's right. TS5010, Emperor Shogun. And if you look at those pictures of those or anything else, the way everything's laid out is absolutely identical. So obviously, whoever it is has contacted the manufacturer of that radio, whoever that was, Maxon, whoever it was. They've approached them, and we've seen this over the years in countless things where you get 3 identical items with 3 different names on. So for all sake of argument, It is a, let's turn the squelch up. It's a bit of a nuisance. Nobody appears to be about at the moment. It's very windy and cold outside. I didn't even say what the date was, did I? It is a Sunday. Sorry about the wiggly camera, I'm trying to look at my watch. It's the 11th. Sunday the 11th of February 2018. Should have said that at the beginning. So let's get a more detailed view on this radio and my thoughts and my conclusion. Yes, very good condition. Somebody paid either 220 or 230 quid. The box is right over the other side of my room. It's difficult to get to. The box is in very good condition as well. It's got a nice heatsink, a good sized heatsink on the back as well. And when I use the radio, I give it quite a few long overs on FM, and it only ever got warm. It didn't get hot, so that's a good thing. The output transistors you can still get hold of. I did write down what they were called, can't remember. As usual, my brain with numbers is terrible. You can pick the output trannies up, whether they're original ones. They claim to be off eBay for £1.39, which is no you know, great hardship, is it? Right, let's get to the good things and the bad things, and I've wrote a lot of this down so that I can't get confused. So rustly paper, and like I say, I haven't got time at the moment. I'm not very well to set up tripods, so you'll have to bear with me. On the positive side, as I say, in its day, when these things came about, the old Cobra 148s and such likes, they did 4 or 5 and jumbos, 4 and 5 on AM FM, 12 watts PEP. This one, as I've said, this one does quite a lot of power compared to that. 10 watts variable on AM FM, 25 to 30 SSB. So you could see that as a positive thing in its day when it came out. However, to me that represents a problem, because most of your CB type linear amplifiers, burners, well, a good high percentage of them that I've ever come across, they say 4 to 6, possibly some of them 10 on FM, but not 30 for sure on sideband, that's where your first problem comes in, because on this RF power control here doesn't control the SSB, it only controls your AM FM. It should go down to just over 1/4 of a watt when turned fully down. I haven't tested it yet, but I know it is doing good power. Should go down to about 1/4 of a watt, or just over, thereabouts, and up to 10 on AM FM. On sideband you can't control it. Now this was my fault. The only fault I could ever find with a Lincoln, it actually had a button for the audio, for your mic gain, which on this one, I'm not going to do an in-depth full view on this, a full review on this radio, because I haven't got time. There's your mic gain. It's somewhere here when I can find it. Meter, frequency lock, band, mic gain. It's that button there. When you put it on, you get a notification thing, look to say. So that's the only way. See, in old-fashioned times, when HF radios, years and years ago, you could control your output power on sideband via your mic gain. So if you had a variable mic gain, it would be possible just to turn the mic gain out on sideband, turn it down, and therefore control your power into a linear amplifier. On this, all you can do is press the button. Not a good idea. Now, you could get the radio, take the back off and set the sideband power so that when you flick that button and it's only 10 watts. I wouldn't want to do it, but I'm sure some clever person could do it. So for peace of mind not blowing your burner up, you would just press that button in, go straight on sideband, job done, you haven't caused any damage. But I don't feel that 30 or 25 watts is enough power to actually use on sideband. When we're on the top of the cycle, is it 9 or 11 year cycle, yeah, 25 watts will get you around the world. No arguments with that, but that's we're not on a peak at the moment for a few years, are we? So I think you would need a little bit more power than that to it is possible to talk on that power. I know there's QRP people who talk on milliwatts, but they do better on different bands than 11 meters. So yeah, so basically in a nutshell, all I'm trying to say is it's restricting your power output into a linear. It's restricting your use of a linear, this radio, on sideband, with the output power that it does, which is slightly too much. So that's that one sorted. the knobs of the switches, the feel of the radio feels like very good quality. It really does. They all feel positive, not like modern Chinese radios. That channel there, when you turn that, actually goes with a clonk, and it feels positive. It does feel well made. No doubts it feels well made. I like the way this is set out here with your mode selector. A nice little positive feel to that switch when you turn that. Even though it's, you may say, a stolen design, I like the layout like that. And you've got the typical, the way it works, it operates like a Lincoln. You press your shift button, your little digit there under the 2 goes across, and then you can use your channel change to go up and down each individual frequency, well, each individual number. So yeah, there's not an issue there. As usual, that's 33. It always showed 10 more on the Muppet block. The Lincolns did. They all showed 43 when you're on 33, 10 plus. And when you're on the mid block, if I remember correctly, they showed the correct channel when you're on the mid block. So that's not an issue. I don't go by channels, I go by frequency readout. That's what I've learnt over the years by using HF sets. Let's get my piece of paper again. Yes, it feels well made. The controls feel all good and positive. They don't feel cheap and tacky. I don't like that blooming that there. That's just me personally. You might like it. And even that Alan 9001 on the front fascia panel, even that looks cheap and tacky to me. But that's just me. On the negative side, as I've said, not much control over the SSB output. Can't really use, you ain't got no variable mic gain. It's on a switch, the same as the Lincolns, which is a bad idea in my books anyway. Cheap looking graphics. Oh, right. Now then, this is the main thing. This is the main thing what puts me off the radio. I turned it on, powered it up, turned it on. Adrian lives a mile away from me, and he was talking away, and I wanted to set the power to... Yeah. Right, start again. The wife's just telling me my dinner's ready. Adrian lives a mile away from me, and he was talking away to somebody, and I thought I'll go off the frequency and turn the power down to 4 watts so I can use a bit of power, because the person they were talking to was a bit of a distance away. So I went off channel by 3 channels, 30 kcs I went downwards. So I went to channel 30, they were on 33. Whenever Adrian keyed up, I could hear him on channel 30 as clear as a bell. And not only could I hear him, Phil was on at the same time on channel 36, and he's about 4 miles away from me. I could hear him coming in with Adrian, both of them talking at the same time as clear as a bell, and they were both on two different channels. Adrian was on channel 33, Phil was on 36, and Phil's 4 miles away. So it's whether it's a harmonic or what happened, I don't know, and whether these Emperor Shoguns suffer with the same thing, I don't know. But that straight away is a deal breaker for me. That's a big deal breaker. And if this is the only radio I had, I'd be very disappointed with it. I have spoken to somebody 20 miles away on sideband just with radio power. It is on frequency. They said I sounded fine, but just on that is a big no for me, that is. I don't think I've ever had any other radio here that Adrian's been talking on. He does push a bit of power. I'm not exactly, he would tell me if I asked him, but I'm not sure what he was pushing that day. It's not ridiculous power. He's not pushing like 500 watts or something, and he's 1 mile away. So I've got the feeling that if you said, oh well, it will be a good mobile radio, stick it in your car, go on a good hill, you do some good DXing with that. I've got the feeling if anybody's within a 5 mile radius and you find yourself a good spot to DX with, they would obliterate you every time they key up. You would hear what they were saying on quite a lot of channels. I will do more tests on this, but I've never ever, even on my old Anytone, and some people, you know, they give them a bad reputation, these Anytones. They're not very well thought of. Even that doesn't give me any issues off when Adrian's talking if I flick off 3 channels. So I noticed it straight away by accident. So if that was my only radio, I'd be very disappointed with it, and I would sell it. I'd get rid of it straight away. It's a bit of a shame, really. And I remember years ago somebody buying a Ranger, and this is the problem. I looked at a comment the other day by somebody coming back on the air. Is a 3900 a good radio? And I read through the comments. Now, I've had some fantastic 3900s, but I've had some right shitters. And what I mean by that, excuse the French, I've had ones where you key up on sideband, and then you're not actually warbling, but you're going high on frequency. After the radio's warmed up, you key up, and all of a sudden you go high on frequency, then you go low on frequency, then high, then low, and they're all over the place. And it depends where it was, what model board it is, what year it was made, and everything else. And I've always found the older ones to be better and more stable and work better. But that's my moan and groan. That's my bit of a gripe. And I hope you enjoyed the short video. I better go and eat my dinner because the wife will be back outside again saying, "Your dinner's getting cold. Come and eat it. Wasting my time." You know, I'll be getting a rollicking, so we won't go down that route today. But thanks for watching the video. Any questions or comments, please put at the bottom. I'm sorry if you own one of these radios and you think it's the bee's knees, but I don't. It ain't a Lincoln, let me tell you. And I do rate Lincolns. The only faults I give a Lincoln is that it was a design fault, in my opinion, with the button, the mic gain being on a button. That really needed to be on a variable control. This radio, the fascia and that, it pretends to be a sort of Lincoln. They've made many as Emperor Shoguns, and then suddenly this comes along, which is an Emperor Shogun with a silly, cheap-looking badge on the top. If that floats your boat, then that's good for you. We're all individuals, so you know, it's worth what it's worth to you, and it's as good as it is to you. But just for the fact of being able to hear somebody a mile away, 3 channels away, as clear as a bell, and dragging somebody else in 4 miles away on 3 channels further up, that ain't a good radio in my books. In fact, it's a very poor radio. Oh, you could argue and go, oh, it's a very sensitive radio. The channel rejection on this thing is not good. Whether it's exclusive to this radio here I've got, or whether they're all like it, I don't know. But anyhow, take care all, and speak soon. Bye for now.